My name is Father Ian Duffy. I'm a priest of the Diocese of Hamilton, and I'm currently assigned as pastor of St. Joseph's Parish in Fergus, Ontario. The very first time I ever remember thinking about the priesthood, I was probably about 5 years old. And I remember kneeling with my mother at Mass and watching as the priest lifted up the host and the chalice, and I turned to her and just whispered, "I'm going to do that someday." Now, at that time, I don't think I really knew what I was talking about, but throughout the years, other things would come and go. I'd think about one thing for a little while and another thing for a while longer. But it would always be the priesthood that would keep coming back. And when I think back on the various things that attracted me to the priesthood and the ways that I think the Lord spoke to me, that very first time that I ever thought of the priesthood was very telling, because it was during Mass. For me personally, it has always been through the church's liturgy that the Lord has spoken to me. He's spoken to me in music, in ritual, in the words of the liturgy, but that's always where I have most profoundly experienced the Lord. Now, to be certain, there would be times that it would be a very external expression, if you will, that I was very attracted to the externals of the liturgy. But over time, those externals started to become much, much more interior. I think I really fell in love with the Lord through the liturgy of the church. And for me as a priest today, there is nothing that gives me greater joy or satisfaction or more meaning, if you will, than celebrating the liturgy of the church with the people to whom I have been assigned. To celebrate daily Mass, to celebrate the sacrament of reconciliation, and especially to be able to be with my people to celebrate those high points of the church's year, the midnight Mass at Christmas, or the beautiful ceremonies of the Triduum. Certainly the Liturgy of the Hours is another place in which I have found that the Lord has definitely started to speak to me in an even greater way than He ever has before, as I come to a greater appreciation of the divine office, and as I make it not just a prayer that I say, but a prayer that is very much a part of who I am. Our Blessed Lady has also been someone who has guided me each and every step of the way. I developed a devotion to Our Lady as a very young child, kept that devotion through high school and through all of my years in the seminary. I actually entered the seminary quite young. I went right out of high school at 18 years of age. Our Blessed Lady is a powerful, powerful intercessor. And there have definitely been times that I know it's only through her intercession that I was able to persevere. There's so much in the priesthood that gives tremendous joy. Unfortunately, today, if you look in the papers and on the television and the radio and the various parts of the secular media, we seldom hear about the joy of the priesthood. We sadly hear about some of the scandals. We're all too familiar with the sorrows and the sacrifices, but my experience has been that the few sacrifices I've been asked to make are nothing in comparison with the tremendous rewards that God gives you. I think one of the things that has definitely happened over the 15 years that I've been ordained is that I've moved from the priesthood being something that I do to the priesthood really being who I am. Being pastor of St. Joseph's Church is my job. Being a priest is who I am. And who I am still remains intimately bound up with the church's worship. Because where I experience myself most as a priest of Jesus Christ is when I stand at the altar in persona Christi and say those beautiful words, "This is my body, this is my blood." For anyone who may be thinking about the priesthood, even if it's just a remote thought, stay close to the Lord, especially in prayer and in the church's official prayer, especially the Mass. Cultivate a relationship with Our Blessed Lady. You can never go wrong with her on your side. Most of all, fall in love with the Lord in the Eucharist.